Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to the channel. This is Red Prep and we're building up to Manchester United visit to Nottingham Forest on the weekend. Manchester United come into this match having won the last fixtures at home against Aston Villa, coming from 2-0 down at half time and winning it 3-2 with HOJLUND scoring his first goal in the Premier League. For Nottingham Forest, they had an impressive victory away from home at Newcastle 3-1, where Chris Wood got his hat trick and Anthony ELANGA was on fire. Notwithstanding that last run of games, both teams have been on a poor run of form. United have not won in their last three away fixtures, having drawn at Liverpool and lost at Newcastle and West Ham, whereas Nottingham Forest have lost their last four fixtures, and the last victory came against Aston Villa. But overall, they've only won twice at home in 9 matches. So City ground hasn't been the fortress that they would have liked. They have sacked their last manager, Steve Cooper. Nuno Espirito Santo has come in, and it was his team that played so impressively, especially on the counter attack against Newcastle. And he'll be looking for a good showing, a strong showing against Manchester United in his first home fixture for Nottingham Forest. Coming to head, United have played well against Nottingham Forest over the span of the Premier League. Obviously, they have returned back into the Premier League over the last couple of seasons from the Championship, and the last match we had was at Old Trafford in this campaign, and Nottingham Forest went 2-0 up in 5 minutes. They only scored 2 goals for them, but we managed to come back again and won it 3-2 with a late penalty for Bruno Fernandes. The fixture away at the City Ground last year was a comfortable victory, 2-0. I remember Dalo scoring a wonderful team goal. And the match, even though Nottingham Forest have a lot of firepower, especially in the forward areas and the midfield, they have got strapping, strong, physical lads in midfield. They're not very technical, and they rely a lot on either playing long ball or playing on the counter attack and exploiting the powers of Chris Wood and Anthony ELANGA. United managed to counter those when we played against them at City Ground last year, and Ten Hag would be hoping that we can keep the ball well enough to create chances against their low block and not concede chances against their counter attacks. Nottingham Forest, they like to play on the counter attack, play with that low block. They've got runners, especially in those wide areas, like Anthony ELANGA, Callum Hudson-Odoi. They brought in Divock Origi as well. Chris Wood has come in and scored his hat trick against Newcastle. A1E has been injured, so I'm not sure whether he'll be available for this match. In midfield, they've got the likes of Yates, Danilo, Sangare, who's come in this season, has brought a lot of steel to that midfield. The main creative spark is Morgan Gibbs-White, and he was also excellent against Newcastle. So they have plenty of threats to trouble Manchester United, and they'll be hoping they can have that home field advantage. And Nuno would be expecting the crowd to play its role and help him get that first victory at home at the City Ground. We've already discussed their biggest threats from the likes of Chris Wood, who is really strong in the air. At Newcastle, he was clinical. All his finishes were excellent, especially the second and third goal. Anthony ELANGA and Hudson-Odoi are great threat in the wide areas. ELANGA has been on fire. He scored 4 goals and assisted 5 times. So that's wonderful GA for somebody who didn't get fair crack at Manchester United, especially last season. In midfield, obviously, that number 10 position, Gibbs-White has been exceptional. Even last season, he showed glimpses. This season also, even though he hasn't been most consistent, but we know what we get for him. Midfield, they played with Sangare and Danilo at Newcastle. Also have other options like Yates. So they are well stocked in that. They don't have any kind of deep lying playmaker who's really great at switching plays or playing those long raking balls. But they have a dynamic and robust midfield in terms of energy and pace and power. In defense, obviously Willy Bolly will come back from his suspension. So he might come back straight into the defensive line. At Newcastle, they went with Niakate and Murillo. And usually away from home, they play with 3. So Willy Bolly might join the 2 of them. At fullbacks, they have experienced players like Montiel, who is a World Cup winner with Argentina. Nico Williams, and Ola Aina, who played as left back, and I think will start in this match as well. Let's move to the tactical board and break down the prospective lineup and formations for both the teams. For Manchester United, I think we'll stick with the same team. I'm not sure about Shaw. What's the situation is in terms of injury or fitness. If he's fit enough, I think he'll come straight back into the team. Evans and Varane should start, and Dalo would be back in his right back position. If Shaw is not fit, obviously we'll go with Dalo on the left back position, and Wan-Bissaka can come in on the right hand side. I think he'll start with Rashford and Garnacho because how we created chances and open up Villa's defense. I think we'll go with that. In midfield, I think he should stick with Eriksen Menu, but I won't be surprised if Menu is dropped for the likes of McTominay. I think that would be a travesty, but we have seen Ten Hag being obstinate with his first team choices, and we might see that. Obviously, Bruno will play; he's the captain, and HOJLUND will start. And hopefully, inshallah, he can build at the back of his first goal and get another one in this match and keep the momentum going forward. For Nottingham Forest, they like to play, especially at Newcastle United, they were playing with the back four. But in away fixtures, especially against teams that keep the ball well, we've seen them playing with three at the back, with the likes of Willy Bolly coming in and helping the likes of Niakate and Murillo. The fullback can maraud forward and give width in midfield, and one of the midfielder will go out and gives wide, might play deeper with Sangare. So this is how they play, especially away from home. Elanga obviously is a threat on the outside with the space. Obviously, Hudson Odoi is more of a winger that likes to cut in and provide crosses, so he'll probably come in. Obviously, if Wan-Bissaka plays, I would be confident that he can stifle him. But if Dalo plays against him, there is a chance that he might trouble someone like Dalo. Obviously, Chris Wood coming at the back of his hat trick would be buoyant. He'd be full of confidence, and obviously, Evans and Varane have shown great dexterity in terms of their leadership and defensive arrangement of the team and the back line. But he'll be a threat against either one of those. I like to see Evans take the charge and give Varane that space to mop up for any knockdowns. With Eriksen, there is always a chance that we might struggle, especially if they, play with three in the midfield and drop their centre back. Morgan Gibbs White, Sangare, and Danilo will trouble us with the likes of Eriksen and McTominay being found out. So I like to see Manu being retained in this team. And obviously, Bruno will have to be more disciplined, especially away from home, and just keep the ball well enough just to get one of those runs of Rashford or Garnacho, and provide the ammunition to the three forwards. I think they are confident after the last match, and if Rashford gets a goal in this match, he'll be back purring again. So I like to see a compact midfield and just circling, recycling the ball at a good pace just to open them up. Their low block will be like a wet blanket. It'll smother us, and they'll be parked. All these players will be parked around the box. Important that someone like Fernandes is efficient and clinical with his passes, and our forwards actually take the chances. We can't afford to miss easy chances, and we need make no bones about it. We have to score the first goal in this match because playing at Old Trafford is completely different, and away from Old Trafford we've been terrible. So if Nottingham Forest can get that early goal, then I think we won't have that mental fortitude to come back and make that comeback in this kind of match away from home. So we have to be highly efficient and clinical and try to get that first goal and then settle into our rhythm and move the ball around. So they have to come out of their low block, and then we can hit them on counter attack and get that second goal just to kill the match off. So this is how I think both the teams will line up for this match. It is more likely that the win against Aston Villa was mere flash in the pan. Aston Villa and Emery played right into our hands with their high line, that suicidal high line. I don't think Nottingham Forest will make the same mistake. They'll play with low to mid block and hit us on the counter attack and exploit the spaces we provide in midfield, especially with the likes of McTominay and Eriksen and Bruno Fernandes. As HOJLUND got his first goal, I'll be looking forward to his performance in this match. If there is a perceptible change in terms of his confidence, self belief, we should see better build up, better hold up play from him. Garnacho and Rashford were bright against Aston Villa, though I struggle to think how they'll play against a low block because that is their Achilles heel. Both of them like to run into spaces. And with Nottingham Forest playing a deep line or a low block, I don't see much joy for either of those players. Even the likes of Bruno Fernandes, who just likes to spam the through balls over the defensive line. I don't think we'll have that opportunity in this match. Last year, we played a very smart game against the low block of Nottingham Forest. Dalo scored in this match, and he made a run right from the deep fullback area into the box. The second goal. I think if we can move the ball, fast enough, quick enough, and have our combinations in the wide areas, and try to, get that goal, I think we can get a result. But if Nottingham Forest get the first goal with the home crowd behind them, they can settle into that deep low block and just hit us on the counter attack all day long. It remains to be seen whether that victory, an impressive victory against Aston Villa, was a turning point or just mere crust in that sinusoidal yo-yoing that we have seen from the team this season. Inshallah, we get a victory and we can dissect that in the upcoming Red Dissection episode for you. Please join us for that. Keep liking, commenting on our videos, keep sharing those. So until we meet again, take care, do good, favor Palestinians, all the oppressed people, every man, every woman, every child. Please pray for them and for us. Assalamu alaikum.